So just really quick, I just see some extra, some new guests here. Barbara, thanks again for joining us. And I have a 512-587-8556 number. Can you please identify yourself?
That's me, AJ Dustin.
Okay, gotcha, Dustin. Thank you. Just making sure. Okay. I'll have to keep that number in my phone.
I thought you had that number.
I know. Just playing. So thank you for sharing. Looks like you've been having some fun during the quarantine.
Yeah, I've been getting lots of time with the kids, and got a new boat, which I ordered a few years ago and finally just showed up. So hopefully we get a good salmon season.
Nice. Yeah, looks like a good day to be out on the water. Thanks again for sharing. Jose, you out there? Doesn't look like it here, so I'll catch him next round. Looks like he's been busy on his bike. Karen, so a new addition to your at a glance. We've got so far the fundraiser yearbook. You've got the presidents and the club at a glance. You've been busy. Can you tell us more about how you've been keeping busy with keeping history of RCAS? Here, I can help. I got you.
Okay.
I've unmuted
Am
you.
I unmuted?
Yes.
Okay. I got, well, I'm embarrassed to say I actually started this about 10 years ago, but I decided to finish it since I'm at home and the garden, not good gardening weather. And as I started working on it, I realized it would be nice to have different components of our club and record the history before we forget. So I started working on the at a glance document, and I took each year of our club and just made a snapshot of that year. I included, the president, the board, exchange students, the theme that year for RI, who the district governor was, and then just highlights of the year. And it's right, I think it's about 30 pages right now. And then I took, I extracted and I made a president's yearbook, and I just put the headshot of each president in a separate document. I did the same thing for the youth exchange students. I found I contacted several club members and was able to gather what people could find. And then the last piece I did was, and I haven't sent it to you, AJ, it's a recap of our spring fundraisers and just photographs, the theme of things I could find, and I had a lot of help from Dick's Sunrise Spirit. Ian sent me photos. Janice and Craig sent me photos and provided some detail that I didn't know about because I was a brand new Rotarian back when. And it's been a lot of fun. And I'm making a physical scrapbook. I'm hoping that the membership committee can use it when they're talking about the club for new members. And new members can have a resource if we can put it somewhere where everybody can access it. And it's a resource of our history. And then hopefully somebody else can keep up with it, because I want to move on to another project. So.
Yeah, thank you for investing so much time. There's so many fun photos. You even have things that the board has voted on, so some changes that have happened over the years. So it's interesting to kind of watch through the history of how the club has evolved. So thank you so much for putting that together. And I'm sure that'll make its way to the website, so then we can make it easy to share to potential future club members, and existing ones. So thank you. Lori, you had a celebration this weekend.
We did. And is Stephanie Lane in the group today? We see her.
I am.
Woohoo! You rock it, girl. Oh my gosh. So HSU went ahead with the graduation. It was a huge effort by HSU. Stephanie, you were amazing.
Oh, thank you. I helped coordinate commencement. That's why.
It is incredible. So they had all 3 ceremonies. Kate graduated in the 3rd one at 4 o'clock on Saturday. We were with Meg and her fiance Ryan, hooked it up to their big screen TV and Zoomed with the rest of the family and just had a fantastic graduation. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah, and it was the perfect year for a virtual ceremony because it was just dumping outside. And that wouldn't have been fun to do outside.
Exactly.
And for those of you who didn't see it, if you want to, all the ceremonies are up on the commencement website up at Humboldt that you can rewatch, or if you have a friend. And students were able to submit videos of themselves, so it was a really personal touch. It was really great. So lots of fun comments in the chat too, if you watch them.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Lori, and thank you, Stephanie. Mr. Plumley, you have some news for us. Where are you?
Last week of the MBA program, I can't believe it's almost over. 1 paper left to write, and today at 1 o'clock via Zoom, they let me know I'm going to be receiving the Outstanding Student Award for my work in the program. So it was kind of a nice surprise.
Congratulations. Yes. Thank you for sharing there. And then I do have one more recognition, but I didn't get a slide in for it. So John, I don't know if you have a video prepared for us to share with the club.
Yeah, let me see if I can share my screen. Let's see, it says host disabled participant screen sharing. Could you give me permission to share my screen?
John, go. I thought this would be in alphabetical order here. Oh, you move up to the top when you start talking. Gotcha. Here you go.
Okay. So this is a little video, very rough cut, of a project AJ has been heading up. So let's have a look. There's no sound, so don't be turning up your speakers. Everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay.
So AJ, narrate. What are we looking at?
So that's how the garden started, and essentially we built up 9 garden beds, if I counted that correctly, or maybe it was just 6, and we filled them with soil. And actually, Karen just recently got their tool donation delivered this week, and so I'm going to go check in this weekend and take some photos, and we can see a more final product. I'd love to. Peninsula School is out there on Samoa, and they've asked or looked for a garden to be able to feed or help with school lunches. And during the pandemic, that's what they've been doing is they continue to feed their school community out there in Samoa. And this was just a fun get your hands dirty project that because of the pandemic has kind of come to a standstill, but looking to see if there's anything that we can do, finishing touches. I'm going to look for a last, if it's available out there. I know that I think businesses may not be able to do this anymore, but hopefully get some bark donated so we can put some bark down. And I know that they've already planted. I think Karen had said that they've built some mini greenhouses in some of them to propagate some veggies and start that process. So I mean, the final goal was to get some kids in the photo and get show the kids enjoying the garden, but I think that's definitely gonna have to wait until we get through this pandemic. So thank you, John, for putting that together.
Yeah, you bet. Keep me posted on when things are happening out there. I'll come out and get some more and we'll put something together.
Appreciate that. Thank you. So let me come back to sharing. Oh, I gotta reclaim the host. Okay. So any guesses to who we have here?
That's Bryn.
The birthday boy.
Birthday boy Bryn, yes. And how about here? We got a pair.
Yes.
Jessica, right?
Yes. And one last one.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
My chat up since I can't see what.
Greg?
Randy.
Here we go. Not wearing a mask though.
Oh,
Whiskers. Nice.
Look at that beard.
look at that fuzzy face.
So Maggie's putting together our final Friday. She got the menu from Casaro's for one of the items I'll be bidding on. Maggie, I don't know if you want to share.
Yeah, this is one example. We're going to also have dinner for four from Brett Schuler and from Citrine Catering. And I believe there's also going to be another item that Rachel was putting into the mix to raise some money for the scholarship fund. So there will be 4 food-related items on next Friday. So I hope you're here and you bid. The money will go for these catered meals will go to the caterer.
I think there was another entry by Mike as well. So
Great, I see that Terry's putting that out too. So that will be, we'll have 5 items. That'll be fun.
yes, thank you everybody for your donations. And yeah, this is exciting. Support our caterers. Thank you, Mike. Yes, your volume 2. A huge thank you to the club. We've definitely surpassed the goal. We are at 12,000 as a donation to Food for People, and this could not have happened without the generosity of the club. So thank you everybody who has been able to support this effort. Collectively as a region, here's a fun photo we just took this week. We've raised over $50,000 for Food for People, which was unbelievable. And it was an amazing effort by all the clubs in the area. So yes, thank you again. And then on top of that, Ryan got this jump started, but we were also able to raise over $5,000 for scholarships. So the scholarships will continue. Brian, I don't know if you have any thoughts on what that'll look like this year, since we're not able to actually host a ceremony.
We're going to be doing Zoom meetings, interviewing the kids next week on Thursday and Friday, starting at 2 o'clock. Those notices and invitations are going out. And then we are actually working on the virtual top 10%. We'll be connecting about that, and we should be able to have recognitions on our Zoom Rotary meeting.
So during the regular meeting, you'll have the nominations, and will we still have a speaker, do you know, like a motivational speaker?
We're discussing just having Dave Navarre come on and do an introduction.
Okay. So looking forward to that.
Traditionally, and being able to introduce the kids in the top 10%, and then we can introduce our award winners as well.
That's awesome. Thank you for your efforts here, Bryan and team. I'm glad that this was something that we were still able to continue, and it could not have happened without your efforts. So thank you.
That amazing work from Rotarians stepping forward. I'm really proud to be a member of this club.
Yes. So Ian, I'm not sure if you're out there. I don't know if you can share what's happening with Rye next year. I don't know if I can find you here. Looks like Ian must have dropped off here, but
I can share with you.
okay. Thanks, Claire.
Yeah, so as a club, I think, I'm not sure if we talked about this last week, but we decided that with the difficulties of COVID that we would not be able to send Lila out for next year. And shortly after our decision, the district youth exchange committee also came to the same conclusion. So next year, no one's going out. They're going to take that time to really strengthen the program and, do some organizational things. And the students all have the option to go during the following year, so 21, 22. There are 4 students in the district who will age out, and they're being encouraged to do at least a summer exchange, the short-term exchange. So it was a difficult decision, and Hyder is the interim chair for the youth exchange committee for the board. And, I know being on this end of it, it was a rough decision to make, and they got a lot of input from all of the other Rotary clubs, but, came to the conclusion that above all, we want to make sure that youth are safe and healthy, and with so many unknowns, it just was wise to continue the program this next year. So that's the sad news. Hopefully we'll be able to maybe have some of our past exchange students join our meetings sometimes, just to, keep the spotlight a little bit on youth exchange as well. Anyway, that's where we are.
I have extended the offer to our 3 most recent exchange students, and both Izzy and Judy would be excited to join us. The time zone thing will be interesting, but they're also currently finishing up their final exams, and so after the next 2 weeks, we'll be able to see their faces and get an update from them. So thank you, Claire. Okay. I don't know if anybody can speak to this, but this weekend is Kinetic Grand Championship, and they've definitely got creative with the pandemic, how they're going to celebrate this. And I don't know if there's any participants out there who can speak to this. Just looking for Brandy, but
Greg, your mic is on.
I know that.
Well, it should be a lot of fun. Live streaming should be interesting. So check in, and I'll see if I can get some photos. Tom, I don't know if you have any updates for Feed the ER.
Feed the ER. Well, they're still doing it, but they're hurting for cash. So the meals have decreased substantially for the 3 hospitals. If anybody feels like contributing, I think I'm going to send some more money to help them out. But I think they made a plea. They went onto Facebook. Send something in.
Thanks for sharing. And then for those of you still howling, here's a fun little video that was recently shared.
It's on.
The stairs look very frightening.
When you guys do that, do the local dogs join in?
Sounds like you have a little call and response there. Thank you, Romy, for sharing.
It's on.
Okay.
We are very enthusiastic howlers.
You have to be. That's how you get it out. All right, 2020 Rotary Virtual Convention. Dustin, I don't know if you have anything to share here. Aren't you putting together a room of some kind?
Yeah, I'm trying to put together a virtual reception during the week of the International Virtual Convention, just because we missed out on our reception in Hawaii, which was going to be on the on the shore at sunset with some fire dancers and stuff. So we'll see if we can match that. But I'm going to try to put that together so we can at least all get together and say hi, and Kathy can say a few words, and this, that, and the other. So.
I know some fire dancers.
Nice.
Perfect. Let's be in touch.